told y'all the journey does not stop. What's up, y'all? So I had footage, and I don't think I'll add it in this vlog, but school has started up for my kids, and Sean loved his first day of school. They're in first grade and kindergarten. I'm headed home from work currently, but since it's back to school, I wanted to talk about a few things. I wanted to talk about school, like how to get through it, or give advice, as much advice as I can about school. I'll give you a little background of my schooling. I went to when I was in kindergarten, I went to a private school. Sorry for all the bumps in the roads and all the stuff we're hearing, the bumps and stuff we're hearing. Driving through regular city streets. My kindergarten I went to one in New Orleans called A to Z Academy. That school doesn't exist anymore, but it was a private academic enriched school. Looks like it was a house that was turned into a school. So there was only 2 rooms. One was a classroom, and one was, and the next part was like a nursery playroom. And then there was an area for the cafeteria, and then there was a kitchen, and then there was a big backyard where a bunch of playthings were in the backyard. So, in school, I started off being academically motivated, so I was good at memorizing things. And most of us growing up were taught what's called rote memory, which basically means if you do something over and over and over and over and over again, eventually your mind's going to remember and it's going to become like second nature. So every day we would do these, the teacher would read off of these index cards. I remember them. They were brown. And early on, I was able to recite everything she read off of that card back to her. And I think they caught on to that I was able to do that. And they decided to allow me to actually teach the class or read in front of the class off of that card. And the card had different facts on it. I remember I knew the first 15 presidents by heart. A lot of facts that I don't really use right now, but it was that school was very academically enriched, and we learned a lot. And I remember later on looking at an old report card I got from that school, and it showed me I was reading on a second grade level, doing math on a second grade level, and there was even an opportunity to skip me to the second grade, and my grandmother decided that wasn't the best choice for me, which is fine. But I would have been in the same class as my brother, who is 2 years older than me. But so just to kind of speed up the story some more, in school I was always memorizing things. Any facts I wanted to know, I would work to memorize it, and once I memorized it, I would have it for the test, and honestly would sometimes forget it right after. So first grade, I did pretty good. But somewhere between second grade and third grade, I just got playful, wasn't paying attention, liked to clown around a lot. And second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade was all a blur as far as academics to me. After 5th grade, I moved back to New Orleans. I moved away for 1st grade through 5th grade. We moved to California. Moved back to New Orleans in 6th grade and had like a culture shock moving back. California was very diverse. It was majority white. And going back to New Orleans, my class was, 99% black. So it was, I don't remember ever being in a class like that. So it was a little different for me. And my grandmother was on top of me with academics because I would play around, just like I would play around in California. I started playing around in New Orleans. Now, I wouldn't play around as much because I knew I would get in trouble more in New Orleans. But all those years I was playing around, I missed out on learning certain things. Like, I learned my timetables, but I didn't learn them fast at all. I'm faster now, obviously, because I use it more, but I was not fast at all doing it because I missed out on it. I missed out on the lessons. I wouldn't pay attention. So what turned it all around for me? So if you're out there and you're a kid and you're trying to figure out why in the world am I not getting school? One thing I want you to ask yourself is how much during school are you talking to other people? Because what turned it around for me, I was asking the same questions like, why in the world am I not getting it? I'm paying attention. I don't know why I'm not, making the honor roll. I was just a C student, just barely making it. So I was like, why in the world am I not making the honor roll and not making good enough grades that really my siblings and my cousins were doing better in school than I was. And one day I went to school and there was this graduation where the deacon talked about how he missed out on doing something tremendous academically because of one point where he was playing around in school. That gave me a shock, a rude awakening. The next thing I did was I was playing a game with my cousins, the silent game. And I figured, okay, our goal was to see who could stay quiet or not say nothing the whole day. The only time we were able to talk is if an adult talked to us. So I was playing that game, and I let the game go on long. So that day from school, I'm playing the game. Going the next day to school, I'm playing the game. Not talking to any of my friends, but talking to teachers. And I found out if I just stopped paying attention to my friends during school hours, not forget recess and lunch, but when it was time for the teacher to be teaching, as long as I didn't talk, I was all right. I would make sure I do all my homework right away as soon as I stepped in the door. And in doing all my homework, I noticed my grades started jumping. So I made the honor roll. I started getting, they used to post who was on the honor roll. And in my class, it was we had about 30 people in our class, maybe 35. So maybe 12 of us consistently made the honor roll. I was getting 3.0, 3.1, 3.3. I think the highest I got was 3.4. I was trying to get higher to get the A honor roll, but never made it there. So that playing the quiet game is what got me from a C average student to a high B student. And taking school seriously when I did was the best thing I could have done, because it opened up so many other doors. So I took schools. I took half of my 6th grade year seriously, all of 7th grade and all of 8th grade. Well, when it got in the 8th grade, I was offered a partial academic scholarship to this wonderful high school in New Orleans. So that high school actually needed me to take a test. Well, everybody takes an entrance exam, and I didn't score high enough on the test, but they said, so they sent you to summer school if you didn't score high enough, to kind of just make sure you can keep up in school. So I went for reading and math, and the people who were offering me a scholarship said, you have to make an A in order to get the scholarship. So my mom pretty much sat me down and was like, look, we can't afford to send you to the school without the scholarship to you. If you want to go to the school, you have to get the scholarship, or we're going to have to send you to a public school in the city. And I didn't really want to go to a public school, so it was probably a 6-week period in the summer, and I made an A in reading and an A in math. So I had like a 97 in math and like a 94 in reading, which was enough for me to get the scholarship. And all 4 years at that school, I was able to keep the scholarship. One time it was threatened. It was a hard chemistry class. But the moral of the story I want to tell you guys, it's never too late. If you're a kid and you're in high school or middle school or elementary school and your grades aren't where your parents feel they should be, take a moment and take it seriously. I know when they were telling me that, you need to make good grades, my first thing was, none of this makes sense. Why I'm not going to use this later on in life. And honestly, truthfully, a lot of that stuff you don't use later on. But there's multiple times where I needed the information and I had it available because I paid attention. So you want to pay attention, because if you don't, when you get out here in the world and people are having conversations about life and things of the world and you know nothing, you're going to feel real crazy. If you can't do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, simple things like that, when you get out here and start talking to adults, they quickly can tell that you obviously weren't that great in school. And it's sad to say, but take a moment this school year, play the silent game. Trust me. The more you talk, you don't realize it, but you're actually distracting yourself and others from lessons. So pay attention, do your homework, and you'll see the results. And once you see the results, opportunities come to you. You probably think that, I'm not smart enough. It's never too late. Like I told you, from 2nd grade to 5th grade, my grades were horrible. I just didn't care about grades. My number one focus was girls and cracking jokes and being the class clown. And my mom just never understood, why would you want to be a class clown? But it wasn't even her that made me turn it around. I had to hear from someone else, and I had to want it for myself. So let me be that mentor to you guys and say, it's going to be important. You want to pay attention in class. You want to do your homework. If you don't know something in class, ask the teacher in class. The worst thing you can do is actually go home and ask your parents about something you learned in class, because the problem is, as a parent, we've been out of school for so long. Like, just recently I completed my master's, but prior to that, I hadn't been in school for over 10 years. So how would we know or even remember half the stuff you guys are learning now when we've been out of school, our last schooling, over 10 years. So a lot of times my mom, maybe the first couple of years of school she was able to help me, but at some point it was, hey, you need to pay attention to the teacher when she's teaching this, or you need to ask for help while you're at school, because you come home, I'm not going to know how to do it. So if you need any specific advice, let me know. Drop it in the comment below. Thank you all for watching. I hope this helps anybody become a better student. Trust me, my advice will take you from, if you're a C student, it'll take you to a B student. If you're a B student, it'll probably take you to an A student. And once your grades are elevated, opportunities come to you. Colleges start calling you to come to their school versus you having to find what college you're going to go to. Usually the smart kid gets made fun of, but smart kids actually have all of the opportunities presented to them. So my brother, I think he's a brainiac, but honestly, he has a great balance of social and academics. But I honestly think he just had he was good at remembering things, and whole bunch of opportunities. I think he had, leaving high school, he had scholarships offered to him. He wanted to go to the college that he went to. And, he had a lot of recognition was given to him and my sister. They were actually awarded some award where they were one of the top, I think 15% of kids in New Orleans. It was, whatever the award is, only a select few get it every year. And my brother got one, and then 2 years later my sister got one, or maybe 3 years later. And you got your picture in this big prestigious book. But yeah, all right, so that's it. I'm rambling now. On my way home, I gotta go pick up the kids. I will talk to you guys later.
Throwing that thing from left, right, side to side. She gotta have her own money. Oh yeah. Shout out to the girls that pay rent on time.